Yo, what up? Andrew Reagan. This is a brief foam rolling tutorial. So I have this green grid. This is one of my favorite ones. You can buy like the long black ones. You just want anything that's going to be tubular. If you really want to be like aggressive, you can just use like a big old piece of PVC pipe. That's going to be pretty hard on your tissues though. This one is a little bit more firm, so I like it because it helps me get into some of the deeper muscles. But to begin, take your foam roller and we'll start by getting our spine. So take the foam roller to your back, take your hands behind your head, and just go over some nice global, like top to bottom from the neck down to the low back here. And just noticing any places of tension. And if you find any spots that feel like you need some extra TLC, right, you can spend a little bit more time there. But it's a nice way to see if you need any kinks to get out the pose here and give yourself a nice little bit of a chiropractic adjustment. So next, take your hips to the earth, hands behind the head, and it's like we're doing cat-cow. So we'll squeeze to the belly so we're not dumping into the low back, but we squeeze to the core to extend more through the upper back, and then rounding. Inhaling and exhaling. Right, you can move your butt down, so you move the foam roller up the spine and get some flexion and extension in different parts of your thoracic spine, or the part of the spine that's primarily located in between the shoulder blades and behind the heart. You can also extend the arms overhead and get any kinks out the system that way too. Moving into your lats and extending the arm out in front of you and rolling and getting into these deep muscles here that are responsible for helping us pull up and sometimes get long and locked if we find ourselves in this internally rotated position a lot during the day. So we can get the lat and the tricep as we roll right like this. And on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being like super aggressive, this hurts, we don't want to go past like a 6 or a 7. So we want to feel a little bit of tension. You can't really hurt yourself from foam rolling too much here. We're just using this as an opportunity to connect with our body and get any excessive tension in our body to begin to soften and smooth out. We can do this pre-workout, we can do this post-workout, we can do it really any time of the day. I like to do it as a way to check in with myself before I start my warm-up routine, if I'm gonna be strength training, or if I'm just, posted up, watching a TV show or something like that, just make it a little bit more useful and as a way to have some active recovery, maybe like on a chill day or something like that too. So I'm rolling back and forth from elbow to armpit. I'm also going side to side and just navigating and exploring my body's fascial tissues, this deep, kind of spider-like substance that connects all of our muscles and our bones together. And our fascia is what we're ultimately affecting the most when we do our foam rolling activities. Okay? So I'm just going anywhere from 10 to 30 seconds per side. Next up, we'll get the hips. So we'll be foam roller on our butt. Take one ankle to the knee. So I have my right ankle on my right knee. I'm going to adjust my hips over so I get on the outside of my right hip and get the piriformis, or one of the main muscles responsible for creating external rotation in the hip. And if you find a really good spot, you can let it kind of marinate, like just melt like some hot butter on some breakfast toast. And maybe just, create a little more micro movement if you find a really good spot so you can get in there. This feels really good too with like a lacrosse ball or a golf ball if you want to be a little bit more intense. Intensity isn't necessarily better. If it's too tight, our body will respond by retracting in, and then we're not getting any benefit of actually sinking into the tissue. Good, and we'll switch sides. Adjusting our hips over, ankle on the knee, scooting, and finding the external rotators and the piriformis on the other side. Oftentimes, if our piriformis gets too tight, it can cause sciatica. That sciatic nerve goes right through that muscle. We can get some cramps and some pain down the hamstring, maybe even into our foot. So if we open up the piriformis and the external rotators of the hips, it helps open up our hamstrings and a lot of the muscles in our just low body in general. Next up, moving into our lateral thighs, coming onto the forearm, and take the front foot out in front, or the top foot out in front, and you can use this foot, the top foot and the forearm, to push and pull back and forth, exploring how it feels to have toes pointed up versus foot parallel to the earth versus more on the quad and pointing the toes at the top of the foot down. Now, if you have, again, some super stiff spots, you may just want to spend a little bit more time isolating and spending more time on those places that feel like they need some more TLC. If you want to go for it, you just put more body weight on it. And this is going to be a little bit more aggressive. Woo! This one makes me sweat. This hurts. Okay, but like I hurt so good, we don't want to hurt ourselves here, obviously. Here's a fun transition. So we're going from the side, the lateral thigh, now we're getting on top, getting the quads. We're going all the way down to the knee, and then up towards the hip. If you find a good spot towards the knee, sometimes it's nice to floss it out and work the quad in that particular tight spot. How does it feel to have the foot turned out versus turned in? Ooh. And then we just scooch it on over, right? So we work the inner thigh now and pull the knee in towards the chest and get the inner thigh going back and forth. Okay, so I'll also do that one for like 5 seconds, and we'll switch it up. We'll make sure we get both sides here. Going towards the opposite side. And again, working the lateral quads. Oftentimes people get IT band issues or runner's knee, and that IT band runs parallel into this TFL muscle. Now the IT band being a ligament we can't really affect, but we can adjust the tension in the TFL. So if we open up the lateral hips up top, downstream, it's going to create benefit for the knee and for the ankle, recognizing that everything is connected via these fascial networks and matrices. So by doing our daily, foam rolling, our body starts to feel better in general, like from head to toe. Getting the top of the quad, again, you can floss it out and find some spots that feel kind of juicy, opening and lengthening and extending through that joint. And finishing off with the calves. So stacking one ankle on top of the other and moving back and forth. I'm lifting my butt up just a little bit to give myself a little bit of leverage, working the outer calf, right in the middle, and then the inside of it as well. If you want a little bit more leverage, you just take your butt up completely off the ground and try to take that top leg and push actively down to kind of flatten out like some pizza dough here and get the knots out the calves. Now if you're actively hiking or running a lot, right, these calves are going to get stiff. So this might feel like death in the beginning, right? It gets better. Best thing we can do to have healthy tissue is drink enough high quality water, get good sleep, right? Get grounded, get our feet in the earth, get good sunshine, and then take care of our body with body work, massage, or you can do myofascial release exercises by just daily hopping on your foam roller for anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. Makes a big difference. Okay, so that's like your quick tutorial with the foam roller. I hope you enjoy and feel better.